Hi, today I want to look at how do we make this donut chart. You can see here that this is two pie charts stacked on top of each other. It's a dual axis chart where the inner pie chart is white and it simply has an LOD calculation that is the total sales, which would be the 100,521. And then the outside pie chart, the ring effect, is a little bit larger, and it has the region field on color, and then it's showing the percentage of total sales as well as the amount of total sales. And then on my columns shelf, I have two placeholder fields. So we're going to look at how we do that. And I apologize, my two golden retrievers are playing and determined to get in this room with me. So if you hear a weird noise, it's them. So I'm going to start with a blank sheet, and I'm going to click on the column shelf. And I want to name the first field that I'm creating here outside ring. So I begin typing 2 slashes, and then I do shift return, and I'm going to type min1. The calculation doesn't matter in the placeholder field. I just need 2 fields so that I can use it to format the chart. And then I'm also going to add another one here, and I'm going to name this one inner circle. And I do shift return, and this is also going to be a min1. And then I would like these to be a dual axis chart. So the field on the right, if I click the drop down arrow, there's a choice here for dual axis. But if you did the same thing on the inner field, you don't see a dual axis choice. So you always want to use the field on the right side of the shelf. And then once I have that set up, I would like to hide these two axes, the outside ring and the inner circle. So I use the drop down arrow, and then I uncheck show header, and you can see that removed the axis for me, and I can do it down here also. Sorry, that was a little bit off the screen. So I unchecked show header for both of those. And if you look on the marks card, I do have a layer here called all, and then I have the outside ring and the inner circle. And right now they're set to automatic as the mark type. I'm on the all layer, and I'm going to choose pi. And because I was on all, the other 2 layers automatically changed to pi. And it added the angle tile to my chart view, whatever, my marks card view. So now what I'd like to do is select the outside ring, and I want to add the sales field. And I'm going to drag sales onto the label tile, and then I also want sales to be on the size. And then finally I want region to be on the color tile. So again, in the data pane on the left, I drag region and drop it onto color. And you may notice that it's still pink in the main body of the chart, but over on the right I do have a color legend now that's showing different colors. And I'm not seeing that yet because the 2 pie charts are stacked on top of each other. And so I want to go over to the inner circle layer, and I want to resize this pie chart. So I'm going to click the size tile, and I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. And so right now it's pink in the middle, and I'm going to drag measure names off of that field. I don't really need it to be on there. Now it's gray. I'm going to click the color tile, and I'm going to choose white just so that I have something there that's not obnoxious. And I think I want that to be just a little bit bigger, not too much bigger, but that's fine. And now what I would like to do is I want to use an LOD calculation and drop it onto the tile. So let me show you that real quick. We're going to put this on the text tile. So this is the calculated field, and I'm just using a fixed LOD based on sum of sales. So LODs have the brackets around the logic. They begin with the keyword, in this case fixed, and then you say you can add in different fields if you want to do some different grouping here, but I'm just saying here, give me the sum of all sales anywhere, and then I can use that in a calculation. And I'd like to drag that and drop it onto the text tile, and so now you can see it is on the inside is 100,521. And then on the outside, it did add the numbers there too. I think I would like it to have $sign in front of that. So I'm going to edit the text tile and just add the $sign symbol. And so now you can see that on the middle. And I haven't formatted the other layer yet with the outside. Now what I would like to do is go to the outside ring, outside ring, and I want to add in the percentage. And so for that I need to make a calculated field for that. And I have one here called Sales by Region. And you can see that I'm using that LOD field that I made to make the percentage. So I'm saying sum of sales divided by, and then I have the all sales LOD. And because I'm using sum, I have to use an aggregation here, so I'm using attribute. So if you were to type this and you got a calculation error in the bottom left because you don't have aggregate, it'll tell you what's wrong. Oh, in that case, let me show you what it looks like if it's an aggregation error. And it'll say can't mix aggregate and non-aggregate. So I'm going to go ahead and put that back. There we go. And then in the bottom left, it says the calculation is valid. And I would like that percentage to be on my text tile. So I'm going to drag it from the data pane on the left and drop it onto the label tile. And it's not formatted very nicely. Let's see if I can make that drop down arrow to open the Fields context menu and choose Format. And then I can go over here to Number and say Percentage. And I'm okay with 2 decimal places. And so you can see now that's formatted as 29%. I'd also like to go into my label tile and then click on the ellipsis for text. And I'd like to add the $ in front of the sales amount. And now you can see I have the, oops, I did that wrong, sorry. It needs to be in sum of sales down here. Whoops. Okay. So now I have the $ indicating that this is an amount, and then I have the percentage symbol indicating this is the percentage of the total. So that's how you create a bar chart, or excuse me, a pie chart that looks like a donut. And I will go ahead and put a link down below to the Tableau public file so you can download this if you want to. Thanks for joining. Bye.